Hi, and welcome to another episode of Spot Gazette. We are your hosts. I'm Anna Marie, and this is Douglas. Today we're going to take you on an adventure featuring some toy collectors. And what we're going to do is we're going to take you on a small visit to a place called Time Tunnel Toys. And we're going to feature the owners of Time Tunnel Toys, Joe and Sharon. And we're going to also take you on a little tour of a collection of none other than Douglas's collection. And we'll tell you a little bit more about what you can do to see about if maybe you want to start a collection as well. So without any further ado, we're going to get started and take you on that adventure, which features none other than our very favorite, first and foremost, this guy right here, Douglas, has a toy collection. So let's talk about that.
All right. Yes. So when I started collecting toys as an adult, I mean, that's where I'd like to start this, because when I was a kid, of course, my mom kept a few things, and the first thing that got me excited about toys was the Munsters. A few things started in the late 60s, mid 60s, where they were going ahead and making toy versions of things I was watching on the television, like Batman and the Munsters. So as a young adult, Star Wars came out next. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about kaboom. That's where toys exploded, and adults and children just started collecting toys because their favorite characters were there, and it was something that was illustrating something you could see on the big screen. So it was just it took off. It went crazy. So I would say that's where I started my collection, was Star Wars.
Okay, that made me think of something just now when you said it. Do you think that Star Wars, the movie, was the first of the, collectibles? I'm not sure I'm wording this properly, but when you think about movies and you think about action figures and toys that are created off of films, would you say that Star Wars started it?
I would say that it's the one that took it to another place. The thing is, I'm going to talk to you all because we're doing this from my house. This is where I live, and we're going to do it from here for a while, and you're going to see us in various anchor spots.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of fun. You never know where we're going to be anchoring from. Sometimes it'll be a studio, sometimes it'll be someone's home, sometimes it'll be a park. You never know.
So, to your question
about
where merchandising started with the toy form, you can go back way farther than them. You go to the Beatles, they sold everything. Elvis, the Elvis things had the guitar, and that's what brings me into why I became such a collecting kind of, I just almost said addict, but I have a lot of toys. But what baited me, another thing that baited me, was the band Kiss, and they're definitely before Star Wars. So all these things before Star Wars, some of them were music related, and I'm a musician, so I couldn't help it. That's just in my DNA.
Yeah.
And so I would say that Star Wars would be the biggest, was a big one, and the volume of it. The volume of production just got huge, to the point where, some of the collectibles, people collect toys as like stock market things. They collect it because they speculate that it's going to be worth more on eBay.
Right, and then they never open the package, so yeah.
That helps a lot. Mm-hmm. So when you go back to Star Wars, the first round of Star Wars toys, they're worth a ton of money because they weren't produced in the same volume, and every kid pulled them out of the package and played with them. So a Star Wars, the original movie with Luke Skywalker, that Star Wars, those are valuable. And then everything after that is way less valuable because of the volume it was produced in.
Got it. Okay. Well, right now we would like to take you all on a tour of Douglas's collection. Would that be cool?
Very cool. It was very fun to have guests in the house looking at my private collection.
All right, so check it out. Here we go.
Hey, hello. Well, you found Castle Von Earth. Come on in. Love you guys. Come on in. We're going to show you some things in my toy collection today, because we Center Spot Gazette. We just did a show. We just talked to Joe and Sharon that do the San Jose Super Toy Show. Have you been to it?
Yes, I've been to a couple of them.
Yeah?
Yep.
We took the kids? Didn't we take?
Took you.
Ah, you sure did. So, we're going to start with what I've been up to most recently.
Where'd you get that? That's cool. I haven't seen that.
That's a creature from the Black Lagoon from, those started in the 90s. I picked that up in 98, I think.
I've not seen a tube like that.
Yeah, he's like well displayed in there compared to the boxes, the flat boxes.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just picked these up. I collect and collectors. What we're going to do is talk about like what collectors do and all the different genres of collections they do. Do you have anybody, Pauline, that collects in your family?
No.
Yeah, Andrew.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew's
yeah,
a toy collector.
Right.
What
Brother-
genre does he collect? Does he collect robots or do you know?
You know, I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, well...
I've seen them.
There's the cat. Come on. Come here. Okay. So anyways, I'm going to take the cat now. So, lately, I've been traveling and working down in Los Angeles doing a video. So these are skate decks that I picked up from this artist that he had done these decks out on the Universal Tram Ride. And when you go out there, there were these buildings, and he did 5 portraits of the monsters, and they're gigantic. And these are the slimmed down versions of them. But this is the latest toy I picked up. And so when people collect toys, there's many genres they can pick up. And people pick up plush toys. And these are the, do you know the film, Pauline?
Nightmare?
What?
Frankenweenie.
Oh, it's Frankenweenie?
Yeah, I got them for
That's
about...
Tim Burton too, isn't it?
Yeah, and I got the Frankenweenie plush. So anyways, recently I was in Los Angeles. I went to Things from Another World, and this was one of my favorite things. We were down there, and this is Elvira, of course, and my mother suggested we run down to the shop in East LA, I think Monster A Go-Go. And Elvira, she personally has some of her personal artifacts and collection in that store. But this was the toy I was looking for, and I had to go to Universal City Walk to Things from Another Planet to get that one.
No, I've been in there. It's a good store.
Yeah, over there off of...
right in front of the park.
Uh-huh. So this would be an example of someone making their own vinyl figure, like a pop, but they customed this, like I was talking about before. They ripped apart some other toy, made their own mold, and then they finished it. These came in, I like the bronze one, but they came in silver and all kinds of colors.
So that's fun, but I mean, does it have a value? I mean, you bought it for value, but I mean, does it have a collector value if it's
This
kind of
one's
a custom?
This
guy?
one's pure personal until the guy gets popular and famous.
Yeah.
So there's a guy named Kozik, Kozik, Kozik. Now he makes vinyls of a bunny rabbit that smokes a cigarette and just weird stuff. He got popular. So the Koziks are popular, and they're still not mass produced. And that's the other thing. Back to Funko Pops. They have limited runs. Like my Universal Monsters collection right there, I've got them all. That's over $1,000 because they only made so many of them and they stopped making them. So that's the Dracula Wolfman.
Those guys are all sealed up. You don't open those too?
These I didn't open. No. What I love about Pops is that you can open them. I've got some on the other side of us that are open. If you look over here, the Kiss ones. But over here, everywhere. Anyway, but check out this card. It's an environment. So it's putting him in an environment. And then when you got Van Helsing, which would be Peter Cushing, there he is in the castle area. That's where he'd be chasing Dracula. So that card is as valuable to the toy as the toy. And on the back, you got there he is, the whole likeness of...
Yeah, I mean, it's art on the back as well.
Yeah,
it's not just a piece of plain cardboard there.
Yeah, you got your actors all lined up, which we were talking about. That's the poster.
That's cool. Those are in great shape.
Yeah. So these were made. These were modern. They were made a few years ago. Okay. Pauline. Do you know these guys? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The best Batman series ever. Screw the Christopher Nolan stuff.
Yeah. You got Cesar Romero, Burgess Meredith, Adam West, Burt Ward, and Eartha Kitt. Damn it. So these are modern versions of classic things.
Yeah, they
So
look fairly new.
Yeah, these were just made this year. I was with Anna Marie at the toy show, and the guy said, "Sorry, I'm the Eartha Kitt. I had to bribe a Target worker to open a box early and get me that Eartha Kitt."
You had them at Target?
Able. Anyway, so here's an example of what you don't. This will affect the value of this toy. It's a Gretsuko. She's a Sanrio, but she's she works in an office.
A Hello Kitty thing?
It's a Hello Kitty, but she's an adult.
Oh.
She's adulting in an office, and to get rid of her rage, Gretsuko goes out and does karaoke to speed metal. She's like, "Rrr, hate my boss," and stuff like that. So anyway, this box got chewed up before I even got it. I mean, it was kicked around the floor or whatever. So I pulled her out. She's somewhere in the house somewhere, and then but you don't want this for saving it and trying to resell it or have it be of any value. That is a torn up, cruddy old box. Yeah. With collecting toys, we trade them, we give them to each other. I had a friend, Jason, that recently passed, and he gave me a bunch of his Kiss collection. So I have some of it here. Here's a Psycho Circus Kiss Psycho Circus Tour Peter Criss toy, and it's all fumbled out. It's gone.
No, he had to play with that.
And he, the way to not treat a toy. He loved them.
That's because he wanted to play with them.
Yeah. So we have some of Jason's collection, kind of a tribute. Dedicate this show to Jason because he left behind. When he passed, he left me quite a few things. He left me the bunch of his Kiss things, and so that's a big reason that they're around me. They have sentimental value. These things are from the '60s. Like this is literally from '66 or whatever.
That was like your toy though, right? From the early. You didn't just get that, right? That you've had that.
Right. That's a Herman Munster of mine, and then this guy still talks. Herman doesn't talk anymore. His voice will just go blah blah blah. Pull it and see what he. Pull the string. Pull the string. He goes rawr, and then this guy was Larry the Lion, and his voice. This is. You're gonna have to tell me who you think this is. Listen to this one. Famous voice guy. Famous.
Oh, it's Looney Tunes guy, isn't it?
It's Mel.
Mel Blanc, yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
This is my precious. So you can tell I was a baby.
Yeah.
When I had this. So
my
this thing right. Ooh, there's a hole in it where I did that to go night night. That's what put me to sleep every night. But yeah, then you might say one more thing. So that's a big, where people will collect things. He doesn't talk. He just looks cool. And right now, Rob Zombie's making a new version of the Munsters.
Rob Zombie's doing toys? Or is he's making a movie, The Munsters?
A movie,
oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, when you go to the toy shows, you can get all sorts of things. You can get art. I've got some art from, this is from Kepi Gooley, here you go. So this would be from Kepi Gooley, from the Groovy Ghoulies. He goes to the shows and sells his own art sometimes. Right. And his music,
Yeah.
So you get that. And then you can get famous autographs that a friend of mine got me this for Christmas.
Really?
Do you know who it is, Pauline? Who got me this?
The crazy guy.
Right there, that guy. Paul bought me this. So Paul also got me a 45 record, because I have records still, and you can get these at toy shows too. This is Dave Edmunds' song, The Creature from the Black Lagoon. So you can get records, toys of course, vintage toys and art, and just really old antique.
All right, that was really, really fun. I want to know, you have such a great collection here.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, you could really do tours anytime, and anybody who wants to come through, it would be fabulous to be able to show exactly what you got going on here. But if you wanted to get more, like, where do you go? Like, where did you get all this, and where do you go to get these things?
Yeah, years ago, we used to go to the Toys R Us. That was a big store.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big toy retailing, and they would actually have sections for adults. They had the Universal Monster ones and all the cool things with the adult collectibles, and of course, toys. It was Toys R Us. So they've obviously closed those, and you can find them on eBay sometimes. But what I like to do is go to a local shop here in San Jose, and it's called Time Tunnel Toys, and they and we went there.
Yes.
And how did you do there? Were you surprised by a couple things there?
I was really surprised. So here's the thing, I didn't envision myself being a collector of toys at all, really. I thought they were cool. I thought, oh yeah, maybe I have some stuff lying around my house or whatever. But when we went to Time Tunnel Toys, it really sparked my imagination and my memory of being a kid. And walking through there, I saw toys I hadn't thought of that I used to have in a long time, like little Kittles. There was if you know what those are, little Kittles were these little dolls. They came in a little, like a plastic container, like a bottle, like a little perfume bottle. And one specific one that I remember most of all was little Sweet Pea. And Sweet Pea was this little tiny doll, kind of like a fairy, had a little Sweet Pea hat, and you open the box, and she smelled like sweet peas. It was so cute. So I have this, not only a visual memory, but I have this olfactory memory.
Oh, okay,
scent,
yeah.
Olfactory.
Yeah.
The scent memory of Sweet Pea and Violet too. Let's take a visit over to Time Tunnel Toys right now, because we did visit. We had a great time visiting with Joe and Sharon, the owners of Time Tunnel Toys. And so we're going to take you on a little tour right now of Time Tunnel Toys in San Jose, California. So here we go. Hello, I'm here with Sharon and Joe here at their shop, Time Tunnel Toys. Fabulous collectible heaven. And I want to ask you a couple of questions, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Yeah. Number one, this is a great store with so much. What got you started as a collector that led to having this shop?
Yes. So I think basically anyone who's in business, in collectible business, they started out as a collector. So when I was young, I collected comic books, other coins for a short time. But toys always held a certain, I guess because we all play with toys. So once I started getting a little older, I started collecting toys, probably like in high school. And it was kind of back then I had to hide it a little bit because it was a little more underground. Now it's very mainstream.
Right.
But, and then from there I started meeting other people that collected toys.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of underground back then because there was no internet.
Mm-hmm.
So back then you'd meet people that collected toys. It was kind of like a little group of people you'd get together with and do things.
Yeah.
And it was social. And
Yeah.
I think that's why people collect.
I think social media does help. It is a social thing, and
Oh,
people
yeah.
are more aware of it. But I wish I still had my toys. I mean, I don't know what happened to them. I'm sure my mom got rid of them. I think I saw on your Instagram or your webpage is like, we have all the toys that your mom. That's what I love.
Well, but your parents have to get rid of stuff, or else you wouldn't be able to move in your room. But they probably got a certain point when you weren't playing with them, so they probably thought you weren't interested in them anymore. And if you went out of town or you went to school or something, when you came back, oh yeah.
Because you like, as a kid, you're playing with it and you're creating this fantasy world
Mhm.
and the big story, and then suddenly the story is gone. You know? It's like,
And that's why people like coming to the store. It's a little bit of a museum,
Mhm.
but it's a fun museum where people can visit the things they had, or maybe things they wanted to have but they didn't have.
Mhm. Yeah.
And people will meet here. They'll have conversations. You know, people they've never met in their life.
Yeah.
And sometimes.
How did you keep this all going through the pandemic? Because one of the reasons we're doing what we do, going out and interviewing people who have a passion for whatever it is, and obviously it's yours is toys and collectibles. But the through line of some of the conversations that we have with people is, how do you keep yourself afloat and go, not just business-wise, but more emotionally, and this is your dream and this is your passion. How did you keep it going through the pandemic?
Well, luckily with the internet, it's easier for us to actually, sell things online without even having to deal with people in person.
Mm-hmm.
So for our kind of business, it's easy to put it online. We can ship it to people, but it's not the same as selling it to somebody or having them come in and see it, and also have them come. They can tell us their stories about it.
Yeah,
that's what people miss.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when we had our show, we had one for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the thing they miss is coming to the show, talking to their friends that maybe they see 3 or 4 times a year at the show.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's missing. So that's what's kind of nice about getting back to semi-normal now.
Right. Well, I was at your show a couple weeks ago, and that was fun because it was just like you said, people were out and about. It was fun to be mingling around with people again and talking with people. And there was a sense of joy there. It was really nice.
It's something you can't recreate online. It's nice to see online, but it's not the same as being with people. It's kind of like going to see a movie with a group of people. That can only be done, in person.
Right. Speaking of the toy show, how did you start that? How many years have you done that? What got that started?
Yeah, I think about 25 years we've been doing it. And through the years, toy collecting and the economy's been up and down. So there's been times when the show started really small, like when we first started out. And then sometimes when it's been really big, like now, the economy is good and also people want to go out and see things. So it just started, at a school lunchroom. We rented small, small room. Started very small, this pre-internet.
Oh yeah.
And over the years, it's developed. Now we're up to 240 spaces.
Right.
And part of that is because there's TV shows about collecting, and it's a little more mainstream.
Yes, it's gotten really popular. It's more
Yeah,
visible now.
yeah.
Yeah. So, what were your favorite toys as children? Both of you.
Well, I grew up in the 60s, so for me it's Hot Wheels, cars, like stuff from Speed Racer, you might remember that.
I remember Speed Racer.
So, and it's not maybe the most expensive toys, it's just something that you had and you had a good time playing with.
Yeah, what about you?
Well, there's always Barbie.
Yeah.
Little kittles.
I was going to say,
yeah.
I like the little kittles too.
Yeah.
I am on the lookout. Okay, let me you keep talking.
Okay.
Not about me.
Like Speed Racer, always watched that. So, but there wasn't any toys, but I love the after school TV. And Barbie, because it was mostly a model to make it was like a scale model thing. So we would make massive, like, homemade houses and clothes. So it was just a catalyst of, like, other creativity.
That's how it was for me too. I know I could probably talk about this for a long time with you, but the catalyst it was not just Barbie, it was the whole scene. My brother had G.I. Joe and Big Jim. Do you remember that guy?
Oh, yeah.
The lesser known one. Well, anyway, poor Big Jim. But anyway, we would make these villages and all our friends in the neighborhood would come and bring all our stuff. It was great.
I make roads that he whipped out with the Hot Wheels and those Barbies and Hot Wheels and Matchboxes.
Well, I'm going to ask a final question. This is just something. If you had any advice to anybody who wanted to start collecting?
We both kind of say the same thing, is you should collect what you like. So if you get into something, don't do it just because it's worth money or because other people do it. Do something that really touches your heart, that you're going to be into, whether it's up or down. And that's kind of the same with music or fashion or anything. Do what makes you feel happy. So if you collect a certain thing, even no one else collects it.
Yeah.
If that makes you happy, that's what you should do.
Yeah, follow your heart.
Yeah.
Aw, well, thank you so much for talking with me about all this. And again, this is Joe and Sharon from Time Tunnel Toys in San Jose. And I want to continue looking around. So, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right.
Here we are. We're back. We are so back. That was so much fun visiting them over at Time Tunnel Toys. Joe and Sharon are amazing. And while I was there, I was thinking, okay, so here's a store with a bunch of toys and collectibles. What can you get on a grander scale?
Toy show.
Toy show. Glad you mentioned it. So Joe and Sharon actually produce a toy show. And we visited one of their shows in Santa Clara. If you're not from the San Francisco Bay Area, that's Santa Clara, Silicon Valley. Nonetheless, they had a toy show out there, and they're actually producing another one coming up. It's happening on August 20th, and it is the Super Toy Comic and Collectible Show. Toy show, what is that? We actually visited one, and we've got a quick clip about that, so we can share that with you right now if you want to take a look at our visit to the toy show in Santa Clara. So check it out. Shows in the past.
I sure have, and at that last one we were at, I just picked up this baby here. I got a big old cookie jar from Universal Monsters The Mummy cookie jar, and my friend Sharon, she says, Doug, you got to pick that up for the deal it was, and it was a steal because the lid's missing, and Sharon told me, she goes, pop a plant in there. So I'm going to go get a mean-looking cactus, put on this guy's sarcophagus or whatever you call it, and have my little desert scene, little cactus.
So that's cool. So you never know what you'll find at a toy show, at a toy shop, at a collectible event of any kind. So that is very cool. Thank you so much for sharing what you got at the toy show. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining us again here on Center Spot Gazette. We are happy you joined us. If you want to check us out on social media, we are there. Center Spot Gazette on all of the ones, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you name it, we're there. If you have an idea for a show or something that we should feature, let us know. You can send us a message and DM us, and we will get back to you on that. In the meantime, you guys have a great rest of your day, great rest of your month, and we will see you the next time here on Center Spot Gazette.
Bye-bye.
Take care.